Good evening and welcome to the special broadcast on Times Now. I'm Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan and along with our colleagues Swati Joshi and Atar Khan, we'll be bringing you over the next 1 hour a breakdown of the numbers that we've already revealed in poll-bound Rajasthan. It seems that Vasundhara Raje is all set to succumb to anti-incumbency and the advantage could be for Sachin Pilot.
And before we analyze the numbers and tell you how this opinion was formed, it's also very important to tell you the methodology that we followed. Now remember, Rajasthan has a total of 200 seats. This survey was done in 67 of those constituencies. In each constituency, 120 samples were used. In all, this survey has been conducted on 8,040 respondents using the Super 30 and circular systematic sampling. इस पर भावेश से ज़्यादा जानकारी लेंगे कि ये systematic sampling क्या होती है. But let's now directly go across to my colleague Athar to know what these numbers are.
Thank you, Swati. We'll fire up the first one before I tell them. This is a distilled version of a longer poll you saw earlier. We've taken out the most relevant, most important questions and tried to fit into one show. Let's fire up the first one. We'll see what the most important questions facing the electorate of Rajasthan is. How would you rate Vasundhara Raje's performance? Now, this figure tells really a story of Rajasthan. If you see average around 12%, poor is the striking number there. 48% say poor, 35% say good, and 5% say cannot say. What this tells you really is that there is anti-incumbency and it's there in good measure. If you could just fire off the second one very quickly, this could give you an idea really of what the position of the incumbent is. What will be the biggest issue in the upcoming state elections? The one question that the voter faced. Is it going to be localized? Are there national issues? Let's see what the numbers say. Unemployment scores there. 35% of these people think unemployment is the big issue facing the electorate of Rajasthan. 27% say development. But look at the other half of that screen towards my right. That tells you another story. Rafale, what Rahul Gandhi has been pushing locally and nationally, does not strike a chord in this CNX pre-poll survey. SC/ST Act, not really. Others, 6%. Those are a variety of different issues. Lynching, very low on the graph here. 10, only 10. Other unemployment issues as well as inflation, 15. So this tells you that no matter anti-incumbency or no anti-incumbency or pro-incumbency as other people call it, unemployment is what the BJP will have to answer for. It could turn out to be their Achilles heel. Next graphic on the screen very quickly. Who should be the chief minister, the next chief minister of the state? Here's a telling graphic here. Sachin Pilot, a Gujar leader, young leader, 31.75%. He just edges out, manages to edge out Vasundhara Raje, who despite anti-incumbency and charges of arrogant behavior, maintains, climbs up and still hangs on to that 31%. Ashok Gehlot is a war horse for the Congress party. He's been consecutive times chief minister. He still retains some clout there. As chief minister, 15% of the respondents want to see him. Rajyavardhan Rathore is the surprise entry there, but he does score at 11.61. And others, amalgamation of other people, there could be some regional leads around 10. But this tells you that Sachin Pilot does have an appeal right now. If we have one more, we'll fire it off before I hand it over to Madhav and Swati. One last graphic. This is very interesting. These are vote share predictions. And look at the yellow and red very, very carefully. The first graphic will tell you 45.17. CNX has said that 40.37. This is 2013. I beg your pardon. 45.17 is 2013. And CNX gives it 40.37. Vote share prediction. If you look at the other graphics, 43.5. just manages to score. The Congress party had only 33.07 in the last 2013 assembly elections. And if you look at the BSP here, very slight change, if you want to call it, from 3.37, it goes down actually to 2.58%. Others, of course, they have a swing of -4. So clearly the Congress is a big winner here. Madhav and Swati, lots to talk about. I think before we go to Madhav and Swati, I believe we have one more seat share prediction. And this is the big one. This is the number CNX predicts 110 to 120 for the Congress party in these elections. They're going up, and look at the swing there in changes in position. Addition of 89 to 99%. I beg your pardon, seats. These are number seats to the Congress party. 70 to 80 currently for the BJP. They come down from 163 minus 83 to 93. BSP stays pretty much around the same number here. 1 seat to 3 seats. Last time over, they had 3, and others 7 to 9, also a drop, a -4 to 6. So the big story really here is, Madhav and Swati, if you want to look at it, CNX is predicting that the Congress would take it comfortably. Of course, there is a chance for plus minus 3, I believe, percent that margin of error the CNX has kept.
Well, either way you look at it, it appears to be advantage Congress, Swati. And let's just open this up. Let's just take this across to all our guests who are joining us at this point in time. Sambit Patra, national spokesperson of the BJP, is with us. We also have with us Ashutosh, political analyst. Joining us also is Tuhin Sinha, author. We also have with us Faizan Kidwai, who's a spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Sanjeev Srivastava, senior analyst and journalist, of course, a face from Rajasthan, will also be breaking down these numbers with us. Here in our studios, we have with us Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist, as well as Bhavesh Jha, who's a cephalogist and director of CNX. Sudarshan, senior research fellow of India Foundation, joins us live from Chennai. Let me come to you first, Sambit Patra. These numbers are not looking very good for the BJP. It clearly seems to be advantage Congress. It appears anti-incumbency has taken its toll on Vasundhara Raje.
Madhav, unlike the Congress party and many of the political opponents who often in fact ridicule the survey which does not go in their favor, I look towards this survey with a pinch of salt and of course with a lot of concern. And I would say that thankfully any political worker who looks with concern into any such survey needs to be really prepared on the ground, and we would be prepared on the ground to face the situation in the best possible way, in the sense that we prepare ourselves for the victory taken from today. Secondly, and very importantly, two important things as far as psephology is concerned. If your survey, whatever I'm reading is, we are approximately losing, according to this survey, 4.8% of vote share that we had in 2013 election. So we really need to gain some 5% vote to be victorious. Remember, Mr. Narendra Modi has not started his campaign as yet in Rajasthan. I firmly believe that once Mr. Narendra Modi starts his campaign in the state of Rajasthan, generally we have seen that some amount of 3 to 5% vote swing does take place. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Let Mr. Modi start his rallies in Rajasthan. So, I believe that the kind of delay that the kind of drop that has taken place in our vote share, of course, we are going to make up on that.
So, Sambit Patra, are you also saying that the BJP saw this coming, that you would have to bank on Prime Minister's popularity? Because, you know, people have rated Vasundhara Raje's performance poor, and 48% people are saying that not even basic amenities were delivered.
With due respect, I would defer to that. One of the most important amenities of Rajasthan is water, and Vasundhara Raje has really worked wonders as far as the issue of water in Rajasthan is concerned. And secondly, the Bhamasha program of Rajasthan is a big hit amongst the commoners out there. It is doing quite well. Thirdly, I would say that as far as Rajasthan is concerned, your question that are we prepared for this kind of result? You would agree, many of the people of eminences out over here, they would agree to the fact that few weeks down the line, probably the reports that were coming were not as favorable as it is today. Today, we are seeing somewhere around 30 to 40 seats. That is the deficit between the Congress and BJP. We have really moved ahead. And I can promise you that
Sambit,
till the time we come to the election date,
well. Very quickly, I want to go across to Ashutosh. Ashutosh, will the Prime Minister's campaign be enough to save the fortunes of the BJP in Rajasthan, as Sambit seems to suggest? It has helped improve the BJP's prospects in other states, but will it be enough to save the government in Rajasthan? Ashutosh.
See, Madhav, there's no doubt that the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, is a charismatic leader and he has his own following. So, he coming into the campaign and doing the campaign vigorously will certainly make a difference. But will his campaign be so decisive that can turn the table in Rajasthan? I doubt it. There are the two basic reasons which has gone against Vasundhara Raje Scindia. One is that Vasundhara Raje Scindia has never been known as somebody who, as a chief minister, even in the earlier avatar as a chief minister, who focused on the development. She's not clued into the development. Second point, which is most important, is that Vasundhara Raje Scindia does not listen to the Ala Kaman, that is Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. And there is a vertical divide in the Rajasthan BJP, and there is a fight out between the Vasundhara Raje Scindia men and the Amit Shah men. And there was a time when the Lalit Gate happened when Modi wanted to remove Vasundhara Raje Scindia, but he could not because she threatened that she'll form her own regional party. So the divided houses in Rajasthan,
give me a second. second. Mr.
and,
Patra's confidence is
non-delivery are the
all in
two most
good
important
spirit here.
factors.
But my question to you, sir, would be, the Nara, as they say, slogan is Modi se bair nahi, but Vasundhara ki khair nahi. In these circumstances and the polls, sir, and you really say honestly tonight that you have no fear that you are absolutely losing BJP, even if you keep the CNX poll aside, the ground reality, sir.
You asking me?
I'm
It's a
asking Mr.
question to
Patra.
me. Yeah. Madhav, first and foremost, let me contradict my good friend Asutosh on the count that he says that there is animosity. There is a sense of animosity between the leadership of Rajasthan and Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah. That's not the matter at all. These are wrong kind of things that are being spread. And let me nip it at the bud itself when you say that Vasundhara Raje is not the leader of Rajasthan and she does not have the blessings of Amit Shah and Mr. Modi. It's absolutely wrong. She is the leader, unequivocally declared leader of Rajasthan, and we all stand rock solid behind her leadership over here. Secondly, and very importantly, let me over here take a third dimension to this debate, since you had brought in Sachin Pilot, and what I saw between Vasundhara Raje's popularity and Sachin Pilot's popularity was a very meager 0.45 or 0.6 percentage. I mean, it was a very small fraction of difference between both of them. I can vouch, and we have senior leaders over here who would stand by me or correct me if I'm wrong. I can say that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is not going to give any kind of leadership to Mr. Sachin Pilot or to Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia in Rajasthan or in Madhya Pradesh respectively, because that would only lead to eclipsing of Mr. Rahul Gandhi's leadership. And secondly, there would be a cry within the Congress party to replace Mr. Rahul Gandhi. There is a fear of palace coup. So forget Mr. Sachin Pilot or Mr. Scindia being projected anywhere by the Congress party.
All right.
So whatever is left behind is Mr. Gehlot, and you have seen the popularity rating of Mr. Gehlot.
All right. Incidentally, Sambit, there's another metric which shows that Ashok Gehlot, in terms of the reign of the past, really who's performed better as Chief Minister, Ashok Gehlot was 30.82 and Vasundhara Raje was 25.25. This is, of course, about past regimes. Let me take that question across to Sanjeev Srivastava. Sanjeev, in the cult of personality, it will all also boil down to which personality is projected, and therefore, will Sachin Pilot be the face of Congress's campaign or will Ashok Gehlot? There's still a little bit of suspense on that one.
Well, there is no suspense because they are not projecting either of them. They are going in with a combined leadership, or say the dual leadership of Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot, and which is a classic Congress thing to do and any political party thing to do in many states. It's horses for courses. Sometimes you project a man, sometimes you let more than one leader believe that they are likely to be the Chief Minister because they don't want to disappoint anybody ahead of the elections. So let there be a fair game once the Congress party wins the election, if they do. And my assessment or study about Rajasthan is that Rajasthan election is perhaps frankly a no-brainer. The government there has changed last 25 years every election, and this time the writing is there on the wall. The Congress is coming back, the BJP is going, and there are several reasons for the BJP's apparent loss. I don't think whether really, you'll give me the time to discuss all of that. But there is big anti-incumbency against the government and against the Chief Minister. And apart from the other reasons, see, I say always one thing. If you allow me 30 seconds, I'll tell you something.
Mr. Srivastava, let me just quickly go across to Bhavesh Jha, because
in
Mr.
2000,
Mr. Srivastava in an earlier show said, I'll stick my neck out and this is a wave election. Now, exactly do you think this can be described as a wave election? Because, look, we know internal feuds within both parties and it's difficult to beat the machinery that the BJP, of course, has. Last mile connectivity I'm talking about, of course. The Congress doesn't have that. It has infighting as well. And even though Mr. Srivastava is absolutely right when he says that this is a 5-year per party state since 1998, I believe, perhaps even before that, do you see this as a wave election? Or are there localized factors coming up with the anti-incumbency, which is definitely there no matter what Mr. Patra says, Bhavesh Jha? Can you call this a wave election?
Absolutely. This is a wave election and it is going in favor of Congress. But what BJP is trying to do, BJP is trying to minimize their loss with the help of arithmetic. We have seen that in a few days ago, BJP has inducted Kiroli Lal Meena, who got the 4.5% vote in the Modi wave election in 2013 and 2014. Also, they are trying to do something like, they have there are other leaders like Hanuman Beniwal of he is a Jat leader, prominent Jat leader, and he has just floated a new political party, and we know that the Jat is a no.
He's taking votes away from the BJP, both Mr. Beniwal and Ghanshyam Tiwari, because their vote roster is the same. And how does that benefit the Congress, Mr. Jha?
I'm telling you,
Yes.
जब इस तरह की चीजें होते हैं, जो एंटी एस्टैब्लिशमेंट वोट होता है, वो कांग्रेस को ना जाके वो कहीं थर्ड फ्रंट को जाएगी, एंड इन दैट केस बीजेपी को वहां पे फायदा हो सकता है. दूसरा एक और चीज जो देखने को मिलेगी आगे, यदि लोगों के मन में यदि ये बैठ जाता है कि सचिन पायलट विल बी द सीएम, देन वहां पे जो मीना वोट होता है वो बीजेपी को कंप्लीटली जाएगा. मीना वोट की तादाद वहां पे लगभग 7% है, और इस तरह बीजेपी को वहां पे शायद अरिथमेटिक के दृष्टि से यदि देखें तो आगे जाके फायदा हो सकता है.
Okay, आगे जाके फायदा हो सकता है. Another important point that Sanjeev Srivastava made is that the trend is continuing as per this survey also of ruling the state of Rajasthan alternately between the BJP and the Congress. Let me go across to Mr. Sudarshan. Mr. Sudarshan, the vote share of the Congress is improving and across all segments, rural, urban, SC, ST. And the fact that BSP was not with them hasn't really harmed them. तो आप ये भी कह सकते हैं कि अकेले के दम पर ये होना भी बहुत बड़ी विक्ट्री है.
Yeah, Swati. I mean, Mr. Srivastava said that it has been governments have been changing there, but we had a scenario in Tamil Nadu where there was same analogy, but you saw the AIDMK romping to victory in 2016, where late Chief Minister Jayalalitha romped to victory. So 1 week itself is a long time in politics. We are more than 1 month away. We have several other states to go before Rajasthan polls. And another very important aspect in your survey, which has been pointed out, is people will look up to candidates who have been selected in Rajasthan. So let's wait and watch. I'm of the firm opinion as a student of Indian polity, there are no full stops. There is only and, or also.
Okay.
So we are a long time away, 4 or 5 states to go before we can ascertain.
All right, Sambit Patra is raising his hand over there. We have a couple of guests that we also need to go to very quickly before we look at the regional breakdown. Rashid Kidwai is with us in the studio. Rashid Kidwai, let me quickly ask you before we go across to the regional breakup. The question and the challenge before the Congress party is to ensure that the momentum that they've built up over the past few months continues in the next few weeks, even after the announcement of tickets and faces, that they are able to sustain this momentum, because everything can change once the faces of the parties in the constituencies is known, as Mr. Sudarshan Singh.
Definitely, this is a assembly election and it's fought on local issues. I think the Congress, as parts of its strategy, has decided not to project a face. But my own assessment is that if the Congress is closer to the just a simple majority, Mr. Ashok Gehlot would have a chance, because he has a proven track record of running government there. But if the Congress gets 120 or more seats, then I think Mr. Sachin Pilot will have a chance, because if Congress gets a healthy majority, then Mr. Rahul Gandhi will be in a position to experiment. My friend Sambit Patra was saying that Rahul Gandhi would not make Sachin Pilot a chief ministerial a chief ministerial candidate. I think if somebody can be appointed as a state Congress president, then that person is de facto becomes a chief ministerial face as well.
All right, over to Athar really for the regional breakdown as far as the numbers are concerned. Over to Athar.
All right, just to add to Mr. Kidwai, he's not, of course, the Congress party is not really nominating a CM face, because the Meena vote is important, and if in the case those numbers don't really matter up, that will go against Sachin Pilot. He's a Gujar leader, remember. Okay, Harauti, we are going region-wise now. There are 4 major regions that we have counted, of course. Let's start with Harauti. This region has 64 seats. As swing predictions on your screens now. 35 Congress. That's what the CNX poll is giving them. In 2013, they had only 9 in this region. Look at that swing, plus 26. This would give them a really healthy appetite, really, for the other 3 regions. The BJP goes down drastically. 20 minus 27. That's the loss BJP is seeing. 25 CNX gives them. 48 is what they had last time. BSP also losing 1. They had 2 last time. They have 1 now, according to the CNX poll. Others, of course, oscillating from the 3 to 5 region there. They also lose minus 2. Let's go across across to Marwar now, another very important region. This is one of the four, of course. Marwar region has 56 seats, so effectively the second biggest chunk in terms of region there. Again, look at those gains that Congress is making right now. Plus 31. They had 5 in this region. BJP literally swept it last time. Now the CNX poll gives them 36 here, a plus of 31. BJP, like I said, had a massive victory here. 47 last time, only 17. A loss of 30 seats according to the CNX poll. The BSP, again, not changing anything. They didn't get anything here. Last time, they're not doing anything here this time around. The others, however, they lose 1. They had 4 last time. They had 3 this one. Mewar, of course, also very important. Third highest seat-wise. In fact, no, it's higher. It's higher than the last one. 64 seats. This is a very important one. Also, again, massive gains for the Congress party here. 2013, they had only 4 in this region. CNX predicts 36 is what they will gather this time around. That's a plus 30 to the Congress party. Again, major losses here, according to the CNX poll, to the BJP. Minus 32 this time around. They had 59 here last time. 27 is what CNX is giving them this time around. BSP, I beg your pardon, stays the same. The others stay the same as well. Let's go across to the last particular region here. This is Shekhawati, as the smallest region that has been calculated. Only 16 seats here. Shekhawati is okay right now. The Congress gains, of course, plus 5. They get 8. They had 3 here last time. BJP loses 3. They had 9 here last time. They get 6. The BSP stays the same. The others lose 2. They have only 1. This was the region-wise breakup of seats, and clearly the Congress making gains in all 4 regions in Rajasthan. Madhav,
well, the Congress certainly making gains in all 4 regions, but the biggest of them all, or one of the biggest of them all, the 2 key regions, Hadoti and Mewar, are the ones that we're going to discuss right now, because they both have 64 seats. Let me take it right across to Tuhin Sinha. Tuhin Sinha, the Chief Minister, comes from this region of Hadoti, and in that particular region, the numbers of the Congress have gone from 9 to 35, while the BJP is in fact coming down from 48 to 25. How far is this a reflection of not just the Chief Minister's popularity, but also her governance? Tuhin Sinha.
So, as far as the survey is concerned, I think it has a limited sample, and I won't give it the kind of conclusiveness which you would like to attach to it. I think a wave election was a preconceived narrative which the opposition wanted to create. But if you ask me, I think the gap is actually closing in, despite all the negative propaganda which has been heaped upon the Rajasthan government by a section of the media and the opposition. So, on the contrary, Mewar seems to be the only region where the gap is extensive, and Congress seems to have a clear edge. But in other parts, what it would ultimately lead to, if you look at the overall count, it's a gap of 20 to 25 seats, which the BJP, if the BJP gains in the next 5 weeks, which is not difficult at all, and if the Congress loses the same, because one thing you have to give to the BJP is that we know the art of peaking at the right time. If we are not all out, at least we are not so bombastic on Rajasthan. It's because a lot of work has been happening on the ground level, and closer to the election, when we go all out with the Prime Minister campaigning, I'm pretty sure that the gap will be reduced, and it will be a neck-to-neck fight.
And the other good thing is that actually, Vasundhara Raje reflecting on the votes. But before I go across to Rashid Kidwai, I think Bhavesh wants to counter that point. Yes, Bhavesh, come in.
See, Tuhin, you were saying about the sample size. See, Tuhin, a big sample size will not give you accurate numbers. Sample size should be it should be in your sample representative should be in right direction. What we have done is we have done with the help of social background. We have already used this formula in from several past year. In Bihar also, Karnataka also, in recent Gujarat and Himachal, and we gave the most accurate exit poll in that those states.
Okay.
So.
Okay, yeah. Bhavesh, let me also go across to Mr. Faizan Kidwai. He hasn't spoken so far.
The rating of Vasundhara Raje is still very high.
I will come back to you for a response on that. Let me go across to Faizan Kidwai. Faizan Kidwai, कांग्रेस पार्टी इन सभी रीजन्स में बहुत बेहतर कर रही है, बीजेपी से हर रीजन में वो आगे ही चल रही है, and this is also a major victory as per this particular opinion survey after Rahul Gandhi took charge as the president of the Congress party. Does that really help Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party improve its position and gain back the trust of the parties who are actually trying to come together to form an anti-BJP front or a third front?
See, this just goes on to prove that the people of India are very disillusioned by the way Mr. Modi and his government has been functioning. Sambit Patra Sahab made a point that Mr. Modi will, once he goes to campaign in Rajasthan, things will be different. To Mr. Sambit Patra, I'd like to tell you, so first of all, gone are the days of personality-driven elections. It might have happened in 2014. It's not going to happen anymore. And you should, sir, also know that since we are talking about surveys, as per a survey that Mr. Modi's popularity himself has dipped a big time. 35% of the people who did vote for Mr. Modi in 2014, they said they don't want to vote for Mr. Modi now in 2019. As far as Rajasthan is concerned, see, Vasundhara Raje is not only facing anti-incumbency when it comes to the voters, she is also facing anti-incumbency within her own party. Her party cadre is disillusioned. It feels that Vasundhara Raje is not accessible. She prefers working with a certain section of people she is comfortable with, while the others don't get a chance to even interact with her. They call her arrogant and dictatorial. So this is one of the biggest reasons why this mess has happened in
all
BJP in
indications
Rajasthan.
are that the Congress is
And
well placed
to
right now.
BJP
But the
people, I'd
Congress
like to
party,
say a
sir,
divided
allow
house
me.
means
The Congress party
a
also
divided
has a
house
fantastic track record at
Yeah.
shooting itself in the foot when they have the advantage. Now, I agree to some extent the Gehlot-Sachin Pilot feud has been contained. But my question is, sir, there's still a long way to go. The Prime Minister hasn't landed yet in Rajasthan. Don't forget that. He's almost single-handedly changed the course in Karnataka. When that starts happening and the BJP machinery last mile connectivity
won't
happens,
happen now.
do you still
It
think the
won't
Congress
happen
will be
now, sir.
able
It
to
won't
maintain
happen
their
now.
advantage?
Of course, because see, is this question to me?
Yes, quickly, sir. We have to take a break.
Okay, yes, exactly. That's what I said. Mr. Modi won't matter in the assembly elections, and Mr. Modi won't matter much now in the general elections, because as I just mentioned, his popularity is down. People are angry with him also. GST and demonetization are playing a very important role in the Rajasthan elections. What happened in the by-polls in Ajmer and Alwar? They lost miserably. And GST and demonetization
and I will return along with our guests in just a bit. We're done with the numbers. Now let's unpack the politics. Take a short break. Come right back.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.
You're watching this special broadcast. We have still much more to tell you about the CNX poll that we've debuted on the show today. Let's fire up the next graphic very quickly before we get back to the debate with Madhav Das, Gopalakrishnan and Swati Joshi. Let's take a look at what we have right now. Let's fire the graphic that we're talking about right away. All right, we'll get to that in just a bit. Madhav and Swati, there you go. There it is right now. Still delay there, but this is a big question that we asked. The CNX poll asked the respondents, and who should be the country's next Prime Minister? Narendra Modi, the current Prime Minister, scores overwhelmingly. He has 69% of the respondents, and 23 go to Rahul Gandhi. The other numbers really don't matter here. The point here is that a big vote of confidence. When Rajasthani voters were asked who should be the country's next Prime Minister, again, we go back to the slogan, Modi se bair nahi, but Vasundhara ki khair nahi. That apparently is the slogan on the ground right now, at least for Congress workers. Let's take a look at what else we asked the respondents in this CNX poll, pre-poll survey, really. Do you think the Congress should declare Rahul Gandhi as the prime ministerial candidate for 2019? It's a very interesting, loaded question, remember. And here are the numbers. Yes, say 45.62%, 40.1% respondents say no, they should not declare Rahul Gandhi as the prime ministerial candidate, and no opinion, that's 14.28. So clearly 45% to 40, not much there, but it's also astonishing to see that Rajasthani voters think that the Congress should not even attempt to name Rahul Gandhi as their next prime ministerial candidate. Let's take a look at the next one very quickly if we can. On the screens, on your screens right now, which government performed better, the central government of Narendra Modi or the state government of Vasundhara Raje? Clearly 63% are with the prime minister right here. Narendra Modi performs better, says everyone else. Vasundhara Raje only has 25% of the respondents, can't say 12. Now, clearly this is a vote of confidence again, like the last question for the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but not much confidence shown by Rajasthani voters. Remember, people who are going to vote in the assembly elections for a next chief minister, only 25%. All right, next one, very quickly if we have one more. All right, I think we're done with the graphics for now. Madhav and Swati, there you go. Two more important metrics for you to talk about.
Well, let me go across to Ashutosh for that particular question. Ashutosh, does these numbers actually demolish the argument that Mr. Faizan Kidwai was giving? क्योंकि इसी ओपिनियन पोल का और इसी सर्वे का ये हिस्सा है सारे सवाल, और राजस्थान के जो नंबर्स हैं उनका अगर नेशनल अगर आप पॉलिटिक्स पर देखें तो कोई इस तरह का प्रभाव नहीं पड़ रहा है.
देखिए, जो लोग ये कहते हैं कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी का कोई प्रभाव नहीं है, नरेंद्र मोदी जी जब चुनाव प्रचार करें उनका कोई प्रभाव नहीं पड़ेगा, वो बहुत अलोकप्रिय हो गए, मैं उनकी इस राय से सहमत नहीं हूं. हाँ, ये बात बिल्कुल सच्चाई है कि 2014 के बाद जो 2015-16 तक जो नरेंद्र मोदी जी की लोकप्रियता थी वो आज नहीं है, उसमें निश्चित तौर पर कमी आई है. लेकिन इसका यह मतलब नहीं है कि नरेंद्र मोदी जी राजस्थान के चुनाव में उतरेंगे और उसका असर नहीं होगा. पॉइंट नंबर 1. मैं दूसरी बात जो कहना चाहता हूं कि जो उनकी 69% जो अप्रूवल रेटिंग दिखाई गई प्रधानमंत्री पद के उम्मीदवार के कैंडिडेट के तौर पर, ये जो भी इनकम्बेंट प्राइम मिनिस्टर होता है उसको इस बात का फायदा मिलता है. मैंने देखा कि जब मिस्टर आई.के. गुजराल थे, वो भी प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे, जब सवाल पूछा जाता था तो उनकी भी अप्रूवल रेटिंग या उनकी भी बहुत हाई आती थी. इसका यह मतलब नहीं था कि आई.के. गुजराल साहब देश के बहुत ही लोकप्रिय नेता थे, उस जमाने बहुत दूसरे नेता हुआ करते थे. तो ये जो मिसमैच दिखाते हैं 25 और 69, उसके आधार पर अगर किसी निष्कर्ष पर पहुंचते हैं तो वो कोई बहुत सही आकलन नहीं होगा. लेकिन हाँ, मोदी जी जब चुनाव में उतरेंगे तो उसका चुनाव में असर पड़ेगा और कुछ न कुछ फायदा जरूर बीजेपी को होगा.
Let me take that question across to Samit. Of course, there's no doubt about the fact, even Ashutosh is admitting that the Prime Minister's campaigning is going to have a huge impact on ground. Our numbers also seem to suggest that particular fact. But the fact is this, that will
Very
that be
minimal
enough to
impact.
save
Very
an
minimal
unpopular
impact.
government? Because clearly the popularity of the
If at
Modi
all,
government
yes.
far exceeds that of the state government in Rajasthan, and ultimately this is an assembly election where local issues will matter. Samit.
Madhav, there are two parts to this. The part one is the local issue, the local election, the assembly election, and part two is the popularity of Mr. Modi and the national issues. Coming to the local elections and the assembly survey that you have shown, I would say, and I would agree to many people who in fact in this panel said that a week is a long time in politics. We still have almost a month as far as the elections in Rajasthan are concerned. Remember one thing, what is the most important strategic, I would say, Brahmastra of Narendra Modi, Amit Shah and the Bharatiya Janata Party? It is planning in a micro level, planning at the polling booth. Only yesterday, while addressing the Karyakartas of Bharatiya Janata Party, the Prime Minister pointed out towards a slogan, Mera Booth Sabse Majboot. So remember, it is the strengthening of the booth. We fight elections in the booth, and that's the reason as to why ticket distribution, who is the candidate who is contesting from a particular constituency, that is the level of management that the Bharatiya Janata Party has to go down to in Rajasthan. While the Congress does not generally go down to the booth level, it fights in a macrosm level, it fights at a level of the candidate. So we will not be touched by that
If I could
standards
just come in
as
here and
far
ask
as
you a question, and
fighting at the
Rashid
booth
Gilwai
level is
could come in
concerned.
here as well. Mr. Patra, you spoke about and absolutely agree with you, the BJP and the Congress are a mismatch when it comes to last mile connectivity. The BJP scores much higher election after election. You've almost perfected the art really of last mile connectivity. My question here is Sachin Pilot, because you also alluded to him earlier. He's been spending the last 3 years since he was, perhaps even before that, since he was nominated PCC president. He has been in the state for the past 3 years, and he's perhaps the first of very few Congress leaders to actually do that. He went down to the state and he travelled around 6 lakh miles. He went to every district. So that particular aspect, are you discounting? Are you taking it lightly?
Now, there are two things again into this. Number one, as far as discounting Sachin Pilot is concerned, he has not been declared as a candidate by the Congress party as yet. And remember, if you have Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot looking towards each other, fighting with each other, just a second. I mean, as far as the feud between these two parties are concerned, Mr. Sachin Pilot and Mr. Ashok Gehlot is concerned, it is something which is mentioned in the media only today. I mean, it's extremely important. So to say that Mr. Sachin Pilot has been travelling the length and breadth of the state, remember one thing, the basic difference, Mr. Kidwai would agree, between the Congress party and the BJP is, in BJP, if any personality works hard, it is for the benefit, not for the personality, but of a party and the Sangathanam as a whole. But in Congress party, if Mr. Mr. Sachin Pilot works hard, it is Mr. Sachin Pilot if to gain out of it. If he does not
Very
gain,
interesting.
he breaks
Is it true? Why
it. If
hasn't
Mr.
Sachin Pilot
Gehlot
declared
works
his seat
hard,
yet?
it is
Because
for
he
him to
fears
gain.
Mr. Gehlot
If he
could
does not
overturn him.
gain,
That's
he
it,
breaks
right?
it.
Sambit Patra has a very valid point here. Why
I
have
think
they not even...
there is a convention that Congress party does not feel its state party president, because state party president has a lot of role to play as micromanagement and logistics things, and all these things are there. I think it's a, as I said before, it's a very cleverly thought out plan not to project Sachin Pilot, but in the event of a good performance, Sachin Pilot will definitely be a candidate. A lot has been said about this last mile and booth management. I think popular sentiment is against the government, incumbent government. These things don't work. It didn't work in Delhi, it didn't work in Bihar, and it may not work in places where...
Congress also launched Mera Booth, Mera Gaurav. अगर booth management इतना matter नहीं करता है तो...
नहीं, booth management matters. What I'm saying is booth management has limitation. If people are, if there is a sweep, there is a wave election, then these things don't matter.
All right, let's go right across to Athar to have a look at the poll of polls. That's going to be, in fact, the most important perhaps of all these polls that we need to look at. This will be the final graphic plate that we'll be bringing out this evening. And this is the result as far as the poll of poll is concerned. Athar, over there, clearly, of course, it appears to be advantage Congress over all these three polls.
It does. I'll just tell you exactly the numbers once I get to see them. Of course, I'm on a different set, Madhav. But let me just toss it back to you while we figure this out.
Right. In fact, the poll of polls very clearly, of course, we saw the numbers there on our set. These numbers are very clearly, in fact, giving an advantage to the Congress party. It's 120 for the Congress, 69 for the BJP, and 11 for others. Let me take this right across to all our guests waiting. In fact, Sanjeev Srivastava with us. Sanjeev, one of the very interesting statistics that this entire survey throws up is how one of the issues that the Congress party has been hammering for weeks, for months now, is the Rafale issue. Issues like that, while I'm not taking away from the merit or whether it's right or wrong, that's for the courts to judge. But the fact is that such issues in an election year may not yield the kind of results that really the Congress party wants out of it. How do you respond to that, Sanjeev?
Well, obviously, bread and butter issues are more important. But you should see it from the Congress perspective. I don't know whether that's right or wrong, but a constant hammering at the Rafale deal and calling the Prime Minister not very correct and not very imandar in this deal is an attempt by Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party to take away that, somehow break that halo of invincibility and the clean image of Prime Minister. So they are trying to chip away at that. So that's a different strategy. I just want to make a quick couple of points. I completely agree that when it looks a wave election now, things may change in the next 1 month. BJP has good last mile connectivity, they are solid at booth, and Prime Minister's campaigning will make a difference. But this whole booth management thing is also over exaggerated. In the by-election, in Ajmer by-election, which was earlier this year, which the BJP lost together with the Alwar by-election, Lok Sabha, on 2 booths. Now each booth they have 20 members, booth committee. On 2 booths in Nasirabad and Dudu in Ajmer constituency, the party got 0 vote. So not even the booth committee members voted. So all this, when the going is good, then these things work.
Okay.
When the going is difficult, they narrow down the margin of defeat maybe, but they don't snatch away victory from the jaws of defeat like what it looks right now in Rajasthan.
Okay, Sambit, quick response
For
to that,
the
and then we
BJP.
have to wrap up.
No, I would agree to say that preparedness is the best medicine. And remember, when you have a survey which shows that
Okay.
at least 30 to 40 seat difference lies between the Congress and the Bharatiya Janata Party, I believe last mile connectivity, number 1, and number 2, the charisma of Prime Minister is the one.
All
Of
right,
course, which is going
Sambit,
to
on
help
that note,
BJP.
I'll have to thank all of you. We are completely out of time. From Swati Joshi, Athar Khan, and all our guests who have joined us on this survey tonight, all eyes really on counting day and what the final results really threw up. Thanks so much for joining us.